What's going on, everyone? This is Dom, and meet the LG G7 ThinQ. Yep, there's a notch. Moving on, this is shaping up to be a pretty nice smartphone for 2018. So as for specs, we're rocking the typical flagship configuration with the Snapdragon 845 processor, 4GB of RAM in the US model, and apparently 6GB of RAM everywhere else. There's 64GB of storage in the US model with micro SD card expansion and a 3000 mAh battery inside running the show. Around the front side, we have a 6.1-inch QHD Plus IPS display with a resolution of 3120 by 1440, and it definitely looks crispy and colorful, but then again, LG displays are always looking pretty awesome. This one, however, does hit 1000 nits of brightness as well, which is pretty impressive for outdoor use. Oh, and to touch on that notch again, you can actually hide it with options in the settings if you're not a fan of it. But as for the design, we have something that looks very close to the LG V30 in some ways, with an all-glass design, and it's clean for sure, but every other phone maker these days is taking this route, so there's really nothing shocking or surprising happening here as far as the design is concerned, and like many others, we have dust and water resistance as well. Around the backside, we have a dual camera system. Again, no surprises these days, but there is a main 16 megapixel shooter with an f1.6 aperture and LG's famous wide angle shooter that's also 16 megapixels this time around with an aperture of f1.9. And of course, we do have an 8 megapixel front facing camera as well. Now, the software here is your typical LG stuff, nothing more, nothing less, but it is clean and totally usable, and a lot of what's happening on this phone is powered by AI with things like far-field voice recognition and in-camera recommendations for recognized subjects, but there's a lot more to unpack here in the full review. Along with all of that, we do have a 32-bit quad DAC for crisp and clear audio out of the headphone jack. That, I guess, is a surprise, and we do have a very nice set of speakers for audio playback as well. And altogether, it's a great start for sure, even with the odd ThinQ branding, which I'm not a fan of, and we'll probably just call it the G7. And unfortunately, we have a physical hardware button mapped to Google Assistant, which is not user programmable and kind of a bummer in my opinion, but whatever. Is this that much different? Does it take the cake this year? Is there enough happening here to entice you to buy the LG G7 ThinQ? I'm glad it's more like the V30, but LG should focus on taking the good parts from the V series and this guy and mesh them together with like two different sized options next year. That's just my opinion, but let me know what you think about the G7 in the comment section below, and be sure to leave this video a thumbs up for the full review. Also, hit that subscribe button for more videos like this in the future. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. This is Dom, and I'll catch you in the next video.